Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Listen, I'm glad to have you guys here. Today is Saturday, the 25th of January, 2020. And I'm going to tell you guys what. There's a situation unfolding in the world. Nothing ever remains static in this world. Nothing remains the same. It's in a constant state of change. And we have to, as humans, we have to adapt to the situations that we find ourselves in. And right now the situation that's going on is we have a virus on the loose in China. I don't know most of you guys, unless you've been uh, away from the news for a while. I mean, this is a new story, really. Really, this virus hasn't been around very long, but man, it's progressing awful fast in China. And anyway, let's get the chart started right here, and let's take a look at what's going on. Xi Jinping, just a sec, I'll pull up this article for you guys. This is in today's news. Xi Jinping convenes his political bureau. They're going to try to make this new virus a top priority, and he has said that this is a grave situation for China. Terrible, bad what's going on. And, if you think that this isn't going to have an effect on the cryptocurrency prices, you better think again. It's going to have an effect on the whole world's financial system. This article here, it says, can Bitcoin price hit 424,000 sometime in late 2021? Let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin today. We're looking at $229.4 billion market cap with 66.1% Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin price is at $83.45 right now, where we stand on the price. Bitcoin's been holding up its price pretty good. Then again, gold and silver have too. I think what I'm going to say next, it might be a little bit shocking to you guys, but I think that this virus is not under control in China. And one of the reasons why I say that is because of the incubation period. People can not know they have anything wrong with them for a number of days, and they are contagious. And this is why it's so hard for authorities to track down the virus, because in those several days when the person's contagious and they don't know they have anything wrong with them, they can travel around and talk to dozens of different other people, and then those people can become contagious too and go around and expand the group, in other words, and move into areas where normally how they stop a virus is they search and hunt down each and every person and each person that they've come in contact with. This makes it extremely difficult. The spread of this in China has gone exponential. It's gone, and this is why the Chinese president says this is a grave situation. There's 1.4 billion people live in China, and China makes up an intricate part of the world's economy. And why this situation is so grave is because of the effect it's already having in the cities in China where the virus has taken hold. I saw pictures coming out of Wuhan, where it's just the center of the virus, where they've shut the city down to try to contain the virus, and streets are empty. There's not a car on the street. Now, a normal Chinese city is just buzzing with activity. People all over the place, just people on bicycles, people on cars, people trading and walking back and forth, and just the streets crowded, normally on a big busy street in China. Well, this looks like a ghost town. That's what it looks like, quite literally a ghost town. Now, what do you think the trickle-down effect of the economy is going to be as this virus spreads? It's deflationary. In other words, It creates a situation where people aren't buying, people aren't spending, people aren't going to the mall, people aren't going to the restaurant, they're not going to do anything. It basically shuts everything down. And as it moves out further and further into the area, it's going to shut everything down. And when things get shut down, this creates a depression, what's called a depression. It's not even a recession. It goes beyond recession. It goes to the next level, depression. A depression is deflationary, because what happens is merchants, like say it's a grocery store merchant, say he's selling apples. Well, nobody's in the store for a whole week, and the apple price is like, say, maybe 3 yuan, I don't know, or $3 or whatever, the apple price, And he walks over to that apple aisle, and he sees his apples starting to go bad because they've been there a whole week, and nobody's bought one. Well, of course, what he's going to do is mark them down. Right? Prices start to fall. The lower prices go, the further the prices decline, and more people get out of work. The more people get out of work, they don't have any money to spend. The more they can't spend, the more things shut down, the more prices decline even further. And it creates a self-feeding cycle called deflation. Okay. What feeds cryptocurrencies is inflation. Feeds them. It's what makes cryptocurrencies grow. It's what's put cryptocurrency up to the price of $8,345. Is inflation. The Fed's programs that they have, where the Fed comes out and they do like quantitative easing, which is inflationary. They do programs like all these different programs that they do where they stimulate the economy. What they're doing right now with the repo market is all inflationary. But if you get a giant deflationary cycle start to happen in the world, what I call a deflationary spike event, before the central banks can even react to this, it can deflate so far into the general economy, and basically shops start closing, everybody starts losing their jobs, everything starts to fold in on itself. This is negative to Bitcoin. But the reaction on the other side of this, what the central banks would do to stop this, because they're not going to allow this to continue no matter how much money they have to print, no matter how much money they have to create. So we got them on the, what it looks like what we're going to have happen is the economy is going to start to crash, which is deflationary. So on one side, it's like draining water out of one side of the pool on one side. Say a big guy come in the pool, really big guy, and he put his foot through that blue stuff, that blue, the envelope that holds the water into the pool, Say he put his foot through it accidentally, and the water was shooting out the bottom of the pool. That's what the deflation's like. And the water's starting to go down in the pool. Well, picture a pool like that. The guy's ruptured a hole in one side of it. All the water's pouring out of that side of the pool. But the Feds got a hot fire hose on the other side pouring new fresh water in. So this is like a war between the deflation and the inflation. The central banks are inflation, and they're going to pump as much money in as they have to keep the water in the pool. Because if all the water drains out of the pool, you've got a completely dead economy. Velocity of money is zero, and the whole world would fold in on itself. They can't allow that, so they're going to be pumping the money in the other side of the pool, which is the water. It's like money's like water. They even call it liquidity. Liquidity, like liquid assets, like water. So they got a fire hose pumping the water in one side of the pool. Well, the water's going to be draining out the other side of the pool because of this deflation that's coming. And it's coming, make no mistake about it. The Chinese economy was already in a slowdown. What's this going to do? This is going to kill the Chinese economy. And so we're looking at two things coming up in the immediate future. One is deflation, and then on the other side of that is inflation. And the central banks have control over that to a certain degree. it's like a war between deflation and inflation. And so what we could see is a rocky ride in cryptocurrency coming up. We could actually see prices fall and then go back up again. And it could be massive. I mean, considering how the economy could fall because of this new novel virus that's going out there. And the economy could fall, seriously fall. And then we could have central bank stimulation on the other side of this, which would start to create massive inflation. So the whole thing is such a mixed up mess right now, and it's so hard for investors to find a way out. And this is why investors right now are running into U.S. treasuries. They're buying treasuries like they're going out of style. So anything can happen in the very near future. I wouldn't bet on the dollar. And so, yes, Bitcoin could hit $424,000 because the amount of stimulation that they're going to have to do on the other side of this event that's coming, and this event is coming very fast. What was this article I had here? Oh, the coronavirus. How many people believe in my audience that the Chinese are going to be able to stop it in China? Myself, my personal opinion is I think it's out of control in China, and I don't know how effective shutting off those cities are actually going to be. That's my personal opinion on it. At any rate, so basically, I guess what I'm saying is I think the virus is going to sweep through China. And now at this point, this stage in the game, I guess what I'm saying is there's 1.4 billion people in China. And what percentage does this virus actually, what I'm interested in at this point is what percentage of the population, if the virus sweeps through an area, what percentage of the population is actually going to expire? That is undetermined yet, that number. The numbers have come in, the Chinese estimated cases is not quite 1,300, and they say 41 have died. So that percentage-wise seemingly would put it in someplace in around the Spanish influenza of 1918. So it's frightful to think of maybe 2 or 3% of the population actually expiring when you consider a country the size of China with 1.4 billion people. Then 3 or 4% is a massive number. It's an unbelievable number, and that alone can actually shut a country down to the point where their productivity is almost nil. And I mean, it's what's called an economic shock, a deflationary shock. These are grave times we live in, guys. And here we have an alternative asset to the fiat currencies. It's one of the few alternative assets. The only other two is gold and silver. And I don't see them as being in competition because when we consider how much capital there is in the system, Thank you guys for listening to this show. Like and subscribe. My personal opinion is HODL your Bitcoin at all costs. And if we do get some sort of a price crash caused by deflation, buy more. That's my personal opinion. That's my personal viewpoint. That's not financial advice, but that's what's going through my mind at this particular point in time. Is that cryptocurrency, Bitcoin? It's like, you ever seen a cockroach? I'll tell you what Bitcoin's like. Bitcoin's like the cockroach that you step on, and you say, I got him, and you hear the crunch sound, right? Okay. You go into the other room to get your broom and your dustpan, and you come back in, and the cockroach is gone. He crawled away. That's what Bitcoin is, guys. And I wouldn't bet against Bitcoin. I'd bet for it if it's me. Now, that's just my opinion, but that's what I think about Bitcoin. Listen, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, and we'll catch you guys in the next show. Bye-bye.